Howdy everyone. Today we're going to do something a little different. Let's fix a gate post. So what we got going on here is the wall where the gate post hangs on has been cracked out. This is actually a second time repairing it. Originally it was cracked out when we had to pull a manure pump. The little mini excavator ended up bumping it originally, so we repoured it, and well, repouring it is never that strong, and then skid steer bump here and there and every little while, or far and few in between. However it works out, over the years it adds up. Well, today was its final straw. We'll let go on top, everything tipped over. I pounded that together as best I could in the morning, but honestly right now it's just hanging there on a prayer. So my plan is to get this put back into position somewhat close by, and then I gotta get the concrete kind of set back in. And what I got made, I got some plate steel that's gonna go over the wall and then cap on top, and I weld them together, and I'm gonna take some threaded rod and go right through the wall and try and bring everything together as best I can. I think what I'm gonna do is take the pallet fork on the loader and put some tension on there, and then I'm going to take the pressure pump and give it a little persuasion. Hopefully I can get it to go back in. If not, I'll have to pull it back out, clean up the hole, and then do it again. So let's get started. Alright, now that I got that set up about as sketchy as I can get it, I'm going to tack that into place a little bit. Hopefully it'll hold it on, and then I can nudge the bottom into position. Let's give it a whirl. Alright, hopefully that'll hold. It welded is about as good as galvanized will weld. Anybody has experience with welding galvanized, you know it's never fun. Alright, let's get this crap out of here and see what I can do in the bottom. Good. Alright, I got the wall nudged up with the pallet forks on the loader. Looks like I could give it a little bit more of a nudge here, get it closer to that wall. The rest of the way it looks like it's sitting in pretty decent, nice and straight on top. It's also looks pretty nice and straight when you eye it up that way, so I guess I'm going to give it a little bit more of a nudge, and then I can grab my plates and set them on and go from there. Alright, it seems like I can't get too much more, so I'm gonna go put them on and get my plates, put them on, see what happens. Looks a little bit offset step here, but the new pouring was a little bit wider than the original wall also, so that don't help nothing either. But also, when I put my plates on, clamp them down, sandwich it in, that should theoretically line everything up just a little bit better as well. Alrighty. A little bit more of a gap up there and here than what I wanted, but when you got two crooked pieces of concrete and one wider than the other, I don't think I'm gonna complain too much. So now what I'm gonna do is I need to drill that hole and hopefully come out that hole or vice versa. And I'm gonna stick a rod through and bolt them together. I think I'm gonna start with a bottom hole. I don't know which one's better. Your guess is as good as mine, but take one and pick one and go at it. How far off am I? Can't be too far, there's dust there. We have poked through the other side. Alright, I got my first rod. I actually had a 5/8 hole drilled in the plate. I'm using 1/2 inch rod just to help assist with my aim issues. Not quite. Let's go from the other side. See if this helps. Oh, that's what I like to see. There, that's sticking through. Now, smart me didn't think to grab a nut and washer right away. Alright, now I got a nut and washer. I just got everything in the bucket over there, but I gotta walk all the way around to get it or else climb over gates. Now I need a deep socket. Oops, come on. All right, now this guy, that guy right there. Alrighty, and that's the aim of my final look. Same way on both sides. Now I just gotta take that and times 6. I got that one through right away. First try. Think I can do it again? Probably not. When I ain't got the holes quite perfect, what I do is I 45 off the end, and it kind of makes itself a taper to flex a little bit and make its way in the hole, and then I cut it off and spin the nut on. Alright, I got all 6 of them on. Had them all polished up nice, so you aren't gonna catch a finger on, cut yourself. Nobody's gonna do anything like that on there. Both sides are the same way. So now what I want to do is take the welder and make them 2 all in one piece up on top here. That should finish tying everything in for this broken section of wall. Alright, don't forget the welding helmets. Helps when I have the ground on metal that I'm actually welding. Alright, let's try this again. Alrighty, I got it all welded together like I wanted to. The gap was a little bit wide on this end over here, but I managed to get it melted together. Nothing too special, but it will hold. Now, I just gotta finish welding that galvanized. Alrighty, I got it welded about as good as I can weld dirty galvanized. Hard to see, lighting is fighting this view right now. But anyway, you get the idea. That part of the job is complete. Post is nice and solid again. Anchored down good on the bottom. I did some chicken welding down there, but it'll hold. That's holding. So shouldn't really be too much of an issue now. The only other thing I would like to do, should do, I don't have time for today, is all this down here is knocked out. What I should do too is take a plate, put it along this wall, come here and then put a bend in it and meet up to there and weld that together and bolt that through like I did over here. See what happens is we scrape manure, when we scrape manure we drive along the edge here, and in order to try and clean up everything we rub the tire right up along that wall and push it into the reception pit for the manure pump. And over the years that slowly gets beat up and pounded and caught and everything else, so that's why it gets the abuse it gets. I don't have time for putting that plate on today. I don't know if I'll have time in the next few days. Not sure if I'll include that in this video or if I'm going to have it 2 separate ones or what's going to become of it. Alright, I'm going to call it a job complete. Thanks for watching. See you next time.